Yeah, so we are here with a professor in shipping logistics, and we are going to interview him about the experience with business in mainland China. So the first question that we have is around the VUCA definition of volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity that exists in China. And in your career at Pacific Basin, how have you witnessed these concepts around the VUCA environment, and also focus on the shipping industry? How would you define these concepts or adapt them to the shipping?
Okay, thank you. Also, the concept of Guanxi as well. You mentioned in the
relationship.
Yeah. So in China, VUCA is everywhere because we're in shipping. So it applies to not just China. The whole world has the same problem. But of course, nothing compared to what's happening today. This is the VUCA times 1,000, times 1 million. This is an amazing time right now, what is happening in the Middle East and affecting everybody. Same thing as your parents in Mexico and also in Hong Kong, around the world. It's crazy times. If you look at the chart I mentioned in the class, just a little bit only. Actual is much more dramatic. So VUCA is everywhere. So it's not really major importance because it's nothing special. It's not just in China. It applies around the country. Mm-hmm. But what is special about China is Guanxi. So the relationship, because China is so big, 1.4 billion people. So it's like who to trust. It's very hard to determine people to trust. So they go back to their home village, hometown, primary school, secondary school, high school, university. Most of the time is university. Because when you're university, you already specialize in certain area and you start a career. If you do like shipping, you start your career, you might not see each other for 5 years, 6 years, and then you suddenly find each other again at a different levels. Some may be working in the stevedore, some working in the port, some working in the broker, some working in shipping companies, some of your competitors, some is your suppliers. Mm-hmm. Suddenly you have connection with people you were at school with. Then the relationship starts. If you don't have that, you have to build that Guanxi, that relationship. So it's like olden days, 30 years ago, the Guanxi is built by drinking heavy Chinese liquor.
Okay.
And it's like bad. It's like they drink every day, a lot. So the health of people in the port and building relationship is so much drinking. Today is much less. And the boss became smart because when he's junior, he used to drink, and when he become boss, he take it and then the junior come and drink it for him. The junior will be knocked out, and then so you build relationship. And it's not just first time you meet him. The second time, you see how you behave when you're drunk also. It's very important. All these small things to build the relationship. So Guanxi is very important. It is still important today, except much less than before. And the reason for it is China is dramatically grown. And there is a risk of corruption as well. So Guanxi is reduced because together with Guanxi, there was some corruption issues. And today, China is much more cleaner. Still, of course, no country is clean completely, but it's much more cleaner than before. So the Guanxi going up, drink is, people look at it, it's like, something funny might happen, right? With the money, corruption. So less people are interested in that. So the strength really starts from the school, your university you go to. So the relationship, when you come back, you meet that guy, like you don't trust anybody. He's like, I went to school with him. So good relationship.
Okay. So also we want to know that by giving your experience in the Pacific Basin, navigating regional and global shipping, how do you see the historical legacy of the Pearl River deltas influencing in the current integration of the Greater Bay Area as a global shipping powerhouse today?
Yeah, I have a different view from a lot of other shipping companies and a lot of other policymakers. They like to look at it as a big picture. So they look at it as Greater Bay Area as one integrated powerhouse. But as a shipping guy, I look at individual ports. And individual ports have their own individual strategy, individual competitiveness with the other ports. Mm-hmm. So by a policymaker hat, I understand why they are thinking about growing the whole Greater Bay Area. But and the individual and the shipping hat, Greater Bay Area is meaningless or less meaningful to me. because it's like, yeah, but I don't load in Greater Bay Area. I load at Shenzhen, in Shekou Port, or Yantian Port, or Chiwan Port. So I load at a specific place, not at a Greater Bay Area, which is like a policy definition of the area.
Okay.
So for me, Greater Bay Area is less meaningful. The historical legacy has been that the policy decision is becoming more and more even throughout the different port, the whole area. But for shipping, with a shipping hat, not relevant. More relevant is the port. Is the port is efficient? That specific port is it efficient, loading quick, and as a shipping company head, can I make money out of it?
Okay.
Yeah. And talking about policy, with the recent shifts and antitrust actions and everything else, how did a major international shipping firm like Pacific Basin navigate regulatory discretion? So when you manage sensitive, for example, cross-border logistics or data under strict security, cybersecurity, how do you manage that?
The biggest problem for us is to get the actual China data, customs data, how much cargo, so get an understanding of the demand situation in China, specific commodities that we specialize in, what is the demand outlook. So we look at customs data, which they issue a little bit irregularly, but they still issue. So we don't actually have a problem with that. Our data is actually our own shipment data and shipping data, global demand, together with the shipping supply situation. So it's less of a problem for us. For researchers, if you want to research actual specific data, they have a big problem because China cannot, the data is very, very protected. So that's the problem. But for us in shipping, we look at the customs data, specialized deep down dive into basically data publicly available. And plus our own data. That means how many cargo we load, is the loading increasing, discharging this customer, are we getting a higher volume of imports for milk products, for example, or forestry products, for example, or wheat. So that data is ours, and the broker can provide it as well.
Okay. Also, we want to know, well, as you know, China population is aging and it is transitioning toward an automation to solve labor shortages. So how does this has become harder to find from your perspective at Pacific Basin? How is the shipping industry adopting intelligent automation and technology to overcome this demographic cliff and rising labor costs in China's ports?
Yes. So for us, the main issue with Chinese ports, the ports are actually automating very fast. So it's less of a problem for us. But the issue is our labor, our seafarers. A large portion used to come from China. But as Chinese labor is becoming aging, they have better options other than go to sea. So labor part of our component of our shipping is now moving to other cheaper countries. So for example, in Pacific Basin, we used to have a large portion coming from China, but we saw the decline. It's harder and harder to get good quality Chinese crew. Still got some, of course, still got 20%, but used to be 80%. It's now 20%. So we are moving now. We've started a new labor pool opening up from India, and for senior officers from Ukraine and Russia.
Okay.
You was mentioned about the how do you focus in instead of seeing everything like in a general point of view, you focus in each port and in each area.
Yeah.
And as we know, China hosts 7 of the world top 10 ports.
For sure.
So for a private international operator, the state-led investment model that China has provided for the mega ports and also that provide a durable edge. So how do you manage, or how do you adapt? Like for example, the private competitors cannot match anymore, or is local government debt becoming a risk to this infrastructure dominance?
Yeah, we don't see it as a risk.
No?
Because if there's some problem with the port, the central government in Beijing will handle it. It's a small, like it's not even in our radar. So for us, we are not worried about it at all because business will continue, and the ship will come and ship will load.
Okay.
So it's not in our radar at all. So we're not really worried about the edge because the private competitor cannot match because it's a government land and the port is a monopoly. So we have no issue with it at all. It's not a concern for us.
Okay, also, as you know, there is like the implementation of the dual circulation.
Yes.
And how, like, to reduce the exposure, well, this dual circulation is to reduce the exposure of global demand fluctuation. How should global shipping firms like Pacific Basin rebalance their strategies, and should they focus more on domestic circulation with China's internal trade, or continue leveraging in Hong Kong's role as a global superconnector?
I think neither actually, because internal trade is only for Chinese flagships. So Pacific Basin is an international company with some flagged in Hong Kong, some flagged in Marshall Islands, some flagged in Panama, and a large majority flagged in Singapore because of last year's changes to the rules. So it's not a concern for us. Number one, number two, so we cannot do domestic because we're not domestic Chinese flag. We are international flag. Number one. Number two, the international Hong Kong is a global superconnector. Hong Kong is actually, for us in Pacific Basin, as a dry bulk carrier, it's a very small business. So we don't have to carry much cargo in Hong Kong. In the container trade, it's also Hong Kong is number 10, I think, now in the world, if I'm not mistaken. So Hong Kong is becoming less and less relevant to us. So Hong Kong's role as a global superconnector is important because our head office, even though the legal head office is Singapore, actual head office is Hong Kong. So our people come from here. Our connections with the banking, finance come from here. So there's a big connection to Hong Kong. Hong Kong is our, we started in Hong Kong, so it's a very important part of our business. So in short, no internal trade and less value for Hong Kong role as a super connector for us, except the fact that our business connections, our finance connections are based here.
Okay. So just as a type of closing or a reflection, based in your working days in your experience in the shipping industry, what is the most important lesson you have learned about balancing localization and also with maintaining the global standards?
Localization being Chinese. So we are international in Hong Kong. So we're not really Chinese in China. And we cannot pretend to be because the CEO is Danish, the staff, so we have actually no Chinese as of now. No actual Chinese people on the board, even though we are based in Hong Kong. So we are fully international board, fully international staff, fully international shipping company, but based in Hong Kong because our roots are in Hong Kong, our history is in Hong Kong. So we don't have that problem with localization at all. So we like more business in Hong Kong, but we will never be a Chinese company. So no use trying to pretend to be a Chinese company. So if we have the entire board Chinese, maybe one or two external or something is different, right? But we're not Chinese. So we're just an international company based in Hong Kong because Hong Kong provides a fantastic location, fantastic geographical area in terms of connecting people, fantastic regulatory environment, and fantastic tax advantages. So as shipping, we pay almost zero tax. So we just want a calm place where we can make money and make business. So and Hong Kong is fantastic for that.
Okay.
Well, that will be all. Thank you so much for your time.
No, thank you for the opportunity.